Hello, I'm Ikkcicle, and in this video I'm going to make a sign. I really like the meme art sign, but I want to change it. So I found a really cool mod called Image to Map, which converts pictures into maps, but it doesn't work on single player. So I was scratching my head for the longest time on how to make a map and put it in my single player game. Luckily, I found a website to do just that, and it's really easy to do. But before I talk about that, let me expand my road network. I seem to do that at the beginning of every episode, really, but it's a very important process to get the foundations of the city going. Look how far I've expanded the network over there behind the lake. I want to encircle the lake in some kind of road system. So I'm using the Axiom mod to actually copy and paste the road to make sure that it works very decently. Here you can see the middle bit, which is Oak Lake, with a couple of houses, and I've got myself an apartment block. And now I'm going to copy the corner and put that in so I can make sure I have a long enough road, perfectly decent, and I make sure it's nice and square. Here I could have used the Axiom mod to copy and paste, but I decided to build it because sometimes it's a little bit quicker doing it that way. Once that's complete, I've finished the side, so I'm going to turn it to night mode, and now I'm going to make sure that all of the roads are nicely lit up. To do that, I use the Axiom mod. I've copied two of the street lights and I can reposition them on the X-axis and the Z-axis and then just paste them in like that. Look, how easy is that? I want to make sure that it's all bright at night so it's not dangerous. Most cities have street lights and mine has a solar farm as well, so I can power these beauties at night thanks to the power of batteries. It's very easy with the Axiom mod. All I need to do is press right shift, go into the little interface, which is actually very complex, and I'm just scratching the surface on what you can do with Axiom mod here. I copy the streetlights and I just paste them in like that. Once I've figured out how to do this, I basically go around the entire network, adding streetlights on every single street and avenue, making sure that it's nicely bright for nighttime. I really want it to be safe all day and all night. So far, there's only a few residents, but I don't really worry about that at the minute. I want to make the city as good as I can. Now I want to show you an overview of the city. Here are my plans for the future. As you can see, there's a lot of street names. I'm hitting you with a lot of information here, so I'm sorry about that. But I've got a lot of street names planned. The main street is called Hondury Street. That is Main Street. That's where I started everything. Also Founders Way on the left there. I'm going to add Sunshine Street, Regal Heights, Maplebrook Lane, and Factory Avenue is going to have a bunch of utilities there. I plan on having some kind of shopping complex just off Hondury Street, a park in the middle there just off Factory Avenue next to Sunshine Street, and some really expensive houses on Regal Heights. That makes sense. At the back there, the brown bits, I'm going to have Sumo Sons Logistics, which I'm working on, that's a truck company, and some warehouses at the back. I also plan on having a sewage treatment plant over there. Keep all the electricity things and the dangerous stuff away from the people. That's the plan. 2 of the streets or 3 of the streets haven't got names yet, but I'll get to that eventually. So let's make a map. First you have to create what you want to use as the picture. Here I've created a very simple street sign for Regal Heights. Each map has to be 128 by 128 pixels. So for this street sign it needs to be 384 pixels in width, that's horizontal, and 128 pixels vertically. Head on over to the website at the top. Choose the picture that you want. This one's going to be for Regal Heights. Choose the exact horizontal and verticals that you need. Adjust the colors, which is automatic. Some of the colors will be reduced and they might look rubbish, but that's the risk you take. I'm familiar with what RGB is, but I don't know what RGBA is, so playing around with the pictures can reduce the colors significantly. On step 4, it asks you how many maps you already have. This one took me a while to figure out, but if you create 3 maps, and the IDs are 70, 71, and 72, you need to select 70 as the amount of maps you have. Create the file and save it. Then simply open up the WinRAR file, open up your Minecraft folder and head over to your save, then go into the data folder. Drag over the DAT files, replace them, and now if you open up your world again, you'll have 3 lovely looking maps. So here I've created a simple road sign and I've put item frames on. But notice how the item frames are a bit far out. What I have to do is go in with the GUI tool and shift these blocks across so they're touching the item frame, if you know what I mean. Otherwise it's not going to work and the map's going to look funny. Paste the code across and then head over to the sign here. At the post I need to do the same thing. I need to bring it over so it's just underneath. Copy the code and do the same for all of these posts. Now I've got a nice place. I'm going to put up my maps for Founders Way. How cool is that? A nice simple street sign and it looks great. I head on over to Regal Heights and put up the sign here, and then across the road so it looks exactly the same. Most cities do that, don't they? They have the same street sign about 5 or 6 times, depending on the size of the street, of course. Once I've done that, Regal Heights is complete. You can see Factory Avenue is looking brilliant over here. If I head back down Regal Heights, which is going to have the expensive houses on eventually, you can see this street, which is called Sunshine Street. Sunshine Street goes all the way down. It goes past Maplebrook Lane. I haven't got any plans for that one yet. Down here to Honduri Street. Honduri Street is the main street. And that's pretty much it for my maps. I'm very happy with that. Behind the bakery, I added Utility Park. And you can see here the interchange between Honduri Street. Now I'm going to put in a few more Factory Avenue signs. One here and one near the solar plant too. I had a nice sign for the 1MTC apartment block. Doesn't that look wealthy now? I also add a couple of signs to the package shop. Speeding Maru Package Service is the company that deals with all the packages in Midsomaru City. And Sumo Brothers Logistics are the company that deal with trucks. The Sumo Brothers Haulage Company will make an appearance in one of my videos later. I plan on making a warehouse and a depot for them. And one day, I might even build them a luxury mansion because they're rich dudes. Now I'm going to head over to Founders Way again and build a little map sign. Look, all those maps I've got in my inventory is too much. Here I'm going to put in these little poles. It's a nice simple column template, very small design, and I'm going to put in these lime wool blocks. I kind of like them, they do look a bit hideous, but when I put the maps on them, they will look really good. Turn everything into entities, then I can move it, because it's not exactly right. You see how it's all positioned weirdly. I need to move these poles first. They've got to be close to the middle bit really, so I've got to paste the code in. Very simple. I do that for every single thing I ever do. Oh, that's wrong. Look, it's gone too far to the right. Whoops, so bash those in. It's a little bit too high as well, so yeah, I'm going to move those across. So they're touching the wool planks there in the middle, or the wool blocks, whatever. Shift those across, paste the code in again. I've got a nice sign. I'm going to put the item frames in, but look, notice again, they're just a little bit too far out. So I need to move this sign a little bit further in, copy the code and do the same for not this one here. Whoops, I put the little thing there. That's not right. I want to move it. Paste the code because I've already copied it. But now those little poles are wrong. Let's put those in anyway. Look, this is where it all started. It started here. That looks really good. I'm not happy with those metal poles though, so I've got to shift those. Whoops, I need to go in with the GUI tool and just shift them across on the Z-axis this time, copy the code and paste it in for all of those. That's pretty much done. And then go over to the same side here, but be careful not to paste the code. Shift it on the Z-axis again so it's touching. Copy that one, paste it in again, and I've got a nice beginning sign. It started here. The city started as a simple bookshop in 2025. Now it has grown and will continue to. I hope this video has been interesting to you. If it has, subscribe, send me a comment as well about Midsomaru City. What should I build next? I'm Ikkcicle, and I'll see you next time.